A manufacturing company I worked with was terrified of rogue AI usage. Employees downloading tools, experimenting, sharing outputs, no approval, no oversight, no policy, total Wild West. So they locked everything down. Only approved tools, written requests to IT, 2-week review cycle. You know what happened? Adoption went to zero. People just stopped using it. Not because the policy was wrong, but because by the time you got approval, the problem had already been solved itself, slowly, by a human, with a spreadsheet. They traded chaos for compliance and got nothing done with either one. Today, encourage AI curiosity or enforce policy. This one has a right and a wrong answer. Let's find it. Welcome to Binary Business. I'm Will Guidry. Every episode, we take a real business decision, strip out the noise, and run it through a binary filter. Because the operators who scale AI don't choose between creativity and control. They design for both. Let's get stuck in. Here's the tension that breaks almost all AI programs before they ever get traction. On one side, you've got the curiosity camp. Let people explore, experiment, figure it out, give them access, get out of the way, and let the use cases surface organically. Fast, scrappy, bottom up. On the other side, you've got the policy camp. Standardize, approve, document, control, know what tools are in use and what data is being processed, what outputs are going where, slow, structured, top down. And here's what happens in most organizations. They start with curiosity because leadership hears, just let people try things, and that sounds easy. Then something goes sideways. Maybe someone runs customer data through a public AI tool that isn't approved. Maybe an output gets sent to a client with a hallucination baked in, and suddenly leadership overcorrects. Full lockdown, policy only, approved tools only, submit a ticket. And now nobody's using AI, and they're proud of it because they haven't had another incident. I call this the fire extinguisher approach to AI governance. You wait for a fire, you overreact, you flood the building. Now the building's definitely safe, but also wet and no longer functional. The better question isn't curiosity or policy, it's which comes first and what does the transition look like? Because the goal is governed curiosity, not chaos, not paralysis. The productive middle that most companies blow right past. Let's run the scorecard. 7 tests, yes or no. The decision, encourage open AI curiosity before enforcing formal policy. Test number 1, does this create leverage? Yes, if you structure it right, open curiosity phases are how the best use cases get discovered. You're not going to sit in a conference room and brainstorm the top 20 ways AI can help your operations. Your people are going to find them. Give them permission and get out of the way. You don't find that leverage in a policy document. You find it in someone trying something that wasn't supposed to work. Test number 2. Does this relieve the primary constraint? Well, if adoption is your constraint, people not using AI at all, then curiosity absolutely relieves it. Open access lowers the barrier. People start. Some of those starts become real use cases. If data security or compliance are your primary constraints, you're in a regulated industry perhaps, real legal exposure, then curiosity without guardrails is not a constraint reliever. It's a liability generator. Know your constraint before you pick your approach. Test 3. Will the benefits compound over time? Yes, this is where curiosity has a massive long-term advantage. When people discover AI organically, they own it. They're not just executing a policy, they built the workflow. They understand why it works. They'll train the person next to them. That's compounding adoption. That's the kind of momentum that doesn't need a mandate. Policy-driven adoption plateaus, whereas curiosity-driven adoption grows. Test number 4. Does this build a moat or rent someone else's? So the moat here isn't the AI tool. It's the use case library your organization discovers. The internal knowledge of how AI fits your specific workflows, your specific customers, your specific constraints. That's yours. Nobody else has it. Curiosity builds that library faster, and policy preserves it once you have it. Test number 5. Does this reduce dependency on fragile processes? Yes and no in this case. Curiosity phases often create dependency on individuals who are early adopters. The one person in ops who figured out how to use the tool and now everyone asks them. That's a new fragile process. You've replaced we do it manually with we ask Marcus. Policy phases done right take Marcus's knowledge and standardize it. But you need the Marcus-style discovery first to know what to standardize. Test 6. Will you get a clear signal in 30 to 60 days? Yep. A curiosity phase gives you fast signals. What are people actually using? What's working? What's broken? What surprised you? 30 days of open exploration tells you more about your AI readiness than 6 months of policy planning. And the policy you write after that exploration will be dramatically better than the one you wrote before it, because now it's grounded in what actually happened. Test 7. Is this aligned with where the business is going? Well, yes. Every business I've worked with that has sustainable AI adoption started with exploration, not chaos, structured exploration. Time-boxed, clear parameters, but definitely exploration first. The companies that started with policy are still in working groups defining acceptable use, while their competitors are 3 iterations ahead. So tabulate your scorecard results. If you're going to talk about encouraging curiosity first and you scored 5 to 6 out of 7, that's a yes. High leverage when structured correctly. The caveat every time is this. It's not anything goes, it's exploration within boundaries and then codify what works. There's a big difference between a sandbox and a dumpster fire. Quick break. If you've been thinking about your own AI rollout while you're listening to this, good. That's the point. The binary decision scorecard is the tool for that moment. 7 yes or no questions takes less time than a meeting you probably didn't need anyway. Check out the free binary decision scorecard in the description in the link below. Back to the practical question. How do you actually design a curiosity phase that doesn't turn into a mess? For that, let's turn to the ABCD framework. Audience, build, convert, deliver. Season 1 is here, so audience leads the analysis. A is for audience. Who you're encouraging to explore matters enormously. Curiosity with a team of senior engineers who understand data handling is very different from open curiosity with a call center team who has access to PII. The audience shapes the risk profile, and the risk profile shapes how much boundary you put around the curiosity. If it's a low-risk audience, internal processes, non-sensitive data, teams with technical context, wide open curiosity works here. Go fast, break things, and then fix them. If it's a high-risk audience, where there's customer data, regulated outputs, financial decisions, curiosity definitely still works, but it's inside a clearly defined sandbox. They can experiment freely within those walls, but outside, there has to be policy that's applied. This is the design choice most organizations skip. They apply one approach to all audiences and get surprised when it breaks in the wrong place. B is for build. A curiosity phase needs minimal structure to be productive. It really only needs 3 things. Number 1, a sandbox environment, a place where people can use approved tools without formal workflows. Low barrier, fast access. Signal mechanism, a simple way for people to report what worked. Email, shared doc, Teams channel, doesn't matter. You need to capture the discoveries. And number 3, a time box. 4 to 6 weeks max. At some point, you move to codification. Without a deadline, it never happens. If you're building a policy phase, start with what actually surfaced in curiosity. Don't build policy in a vacuum. You'll end up with 17 rules and none of them match real usage. C is for convert. Converting a curiosity phase into policy is where most organizations lose momentum. The curiosity phase generates energy. Then legal gets involved, and by the time the policy comes out, a few months have passed and the early adopters have moved on. The conversion has to be fast. Document, standardize, communicate. 4 to 6 weeks after your curiosity phase ends, you should have a working policy. It won't be perfect, but ship it anyway. You can refine the policy. You can't recover that lost momentum. D is for delivery. The delivery model that works long-term is curiosity in new domains, policy in established ones. When you're rolling out AI to a new department, use curiosity first. When that department has 3 months of usage and you know what works, create a policy with it. You're not choosing one or the other permanently, you're cycling. Explore, codify, explore, codify. That's how AI native organizations actually operate. So here's the call. If you haven't started yet, start with curiosity. Give your teams a sandbox, set a time box, and tell them to try things. See what surfaces. You'll learn more in 30 days than you will in 6 months of planning. If you've been locked in policy and adoption is dead, open the sandbox. Just temporarily though. Structure it and with specific teams and specific parameters. Let them discover again, then build policy on what they find. If you're already mid-curiosity phase, set the deadline now. Decide when codification starts, because curiosity without a transition is just creative chaos with AI tools. The companies winning at AI are not the most controlled. They're the ones who move deliberately between both, exploring fast, codifying faster, then exploring again. That's the rhythm. Curiosity to policy to curiosity to policy, all the way to the finish. Hey, if this gave you a framework for your next AI rollout conversation, hit subscribe. New episodes drop twice a week, and they're built in the same way. 1 binary decision, 7 tests, clear calls. Like the episode if it was worth your time. It helps other operators to find the show, and the algorithm is basically a toddler that needs constant validation. Grab the binary decision scorecard. It's free in the show notes. This is Binary Business. All signal, no noise.